to share my story as part of the Black History Month program. As a child growing up in the Norwood Hewlett area, I have very fond memories of my family, school, and community. While living with my parents, Brother Hampton, and my grandparents as a young girl, some of my earliest memories were of listening to very, very good singing. My father, Hampton Taylor, my uncle, Henry Taylor, Mr. Edwin Thompson, his brother Cyril, Charles Henry Robinson, Mr. Lenon Waits, and others would stand in my grandmother's kitchen for hours rehearsing for various church singing engagements. I could be found sitting on the floor between the kitchen and dining room enjoying the sound of music made by them. That experience and other surroundings, music have followed me all of my life. In 1934, at the age of 6, I started Noel Grade School, the one-room segregated school with grades 1st through 7th, often housed about 30 students with one teacher for all 7 grades. The school served neighborhoods from Hewlett to Noel. We walked about a half a mile to school down the train tracks. Sometime in winter, the ponds would freeze on each side of the tracks. We would try skating. I fell and hurt my head, and I never skated again. My brother Russell was born in 1935, and also in 1935, my parents and I moved to our own home beside the main road now called Verdon Road, not far from my grandmother's home. At times when we walked to school, the white students traveling by bus would call us the N-word and throw spitballs at us. I wondered why they did that. They were riding and we were walking. In school, the older students would help the teacher, with the younger students teaching them their 1, 2, 3s and ABCs. The little ones seemed so shy because it was so crowded in class and we had such large students. But I enjoyed working with them. We had old books and old chairs and some desks to sit at. Once a month, we had a hot meal at school. Each student would bring meat, potatoes, or vegetables, and make a big pot of Brunswick stew. It was delicious. Other days, we would bring sandwiches from our home. At 11 years old in 1941, I accepted Jesus Christ as my Savior. And I joined the Mount Carmel Baptist Church, and I joined the senior choir and began a lifelong love of working in church. During those times, our white neighbors would come to our church and visit us during revival time, and they would sit in the balcony during revival service. In 1941, I started high school in Ashland, Virginia, at the Hanover County Training School. Mr. H.W. Dabney, who owned a funeral service, furnished the bus to transport us to and from school. Our roads weren't paved. In some winter months, the roads were very bad. If the bus was unable to travel due to bad weather, we would ride the train to Dawesville, Virginia from Noel and walk to number 1 highway and thumb a ride, or if we had money, we would catch a Greyhound bus to Ashland for school. It was sad times because my high school experience was impacted by World War II and the Depression in the segregated South. My teacher, Mr. Charles Bland, a Tuskegee Airman, and some of my classmates were called to serve in the military. I graduated from high school in 1945, and in 1947, I started classes at Virginia Union University, Richmond, Virginia. At that time, Virginia Union was the only college near me that allowed black students. Due to sickness, I was unable to finish. When my health returned, I decided to enroll at Apex Beauty College in Richmond to become a hairstylist. I graduated from Apex in 1952 and worked for 1 year in Richmond until I was able to start my own business at home. I also became an Avon representative. And in later years, I worked part-time as cashier at Country Pride Restaurant, Ashland, Virginia. I was trying to keep up with the ladies so I could sell them that Avon. In 1947, my brother Russell and my best friend, Ella Chappelle Johnson, and I started a gospel group called the Three Echoes. The Echoes began taking singing engagements at churches, schools, and centers in and out of the state. My brother passed in '55. My cousin Gwen Drayton joined the group, and then a few years later, Ella's daughter joined the group. We were then called the Echoes. We enjoyed singing on TV and radio. Ella and I sang with the group for over 50 years. In 1949, I was married to Johnny E. Johnson from Louisa County. He served in the United States Air Force and retired from the C&O Railroad Company after 43 years of service. In 1965, God blessed us with a daughter, Joan Johnson. My experience as a parent has also influenced my views of school and society, now at 91. My daughter went to school in our local community where I grew up, but attended integrated schools, beginning with Beaver Dam Elementary, Liberty Middle School, and Patrick Henry High School. She had very good teachers, both white and black, during her time in Hanover County. When she went to school, I explained to her what to expect and how to respect her teachers. I attempted to support her in every activity of school gathering around my work schedule. Once I had to see her teacher, who would not acknowledge my daughter when she raised her hand to answer questions. That situation was finally worked out. She had many more opportunities for education than we, and had friendships with all races. Because of her, we were able to experience school events and interact with our white neighbors that had children in the same school or class. She has received several degrees from university in the state, and now with her doctorate, works in Richmond, Virginia, with the at the Virginia Commonwealth University. I thank God for bringing us this far. I'm proud of her as she was selected as James Madison University's homecoming queen, the first African American in the school's history, and has well represented our town, state, and country in many activities. In my lifetime, God has blessed me to see and hear many things my parents and my grandparents would consider miracles, including computers, cell phones, space travel, and an African American president of the United States of America. I am still on Verdon Road, a few feet from where my mother and father lived. I enjoy being alive.
Amen.